Hello, everybody. Adam Parks here with another episode of Receivables Roundtable. Today, I'm here with my friend and mentor, Mike Colby, with Second Round. How you doing today, Mike?
Doing well, Adam. Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. For those that don't know Mike, can you give us a little bit of information about yourself and what you do over at Second Round?
Sure, Adam. I've been around this industry and this particular association since its very beginnings. I'm not even going to tell anybody how long I've actually been doing it, but it's been a while. Second Round is a Austin, Texas-based debt buyer. I believe 11 or 12 years. I obviously should know that, but it's one of those. They purchase all kinds of consumer debt, but really have a focus on in the debt settlement industry, which they're very, very good at, and have done very well over the last 10 or 11 years with it. So the people that run the company have got a lot of experience, and they're just really good people. And I've had a really good experience with them. They're a nice company to work for.
Awesome. So in addition to Mike's role with Second Round, Mike and I also both serve on the board of directors for the Receivables Management Association International. Mike's late wife had actually recruited me to the board many years ago. And then Mike joined the board, it was about 2 years ago. And we've had an opportunity to work together on a couple of different committees. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of the RMAI Legislative Fund and what that means and what it is. So can you kind of tell everybody a little bit about what the RMAI Ledge Fund is?
Well, certainly, Adam, and as you know, having been on the board as long as you have, that particular fund is where the money comes from, is donated by our membership to that particular fund that's earmarked specifically for the purpose of dealing with legislation that we deem that would have an adverse impact on our membership being able to recover on the receivables that they own. So it goes to lobbyists, it goes to airplane tickets, it goes to hotel rooms, and we have a number of very strong people in the membership that take care of those duties for us, as well as professional lobbyists that we have to hire. Which some of what has happened recently is that it has become more critical because we've had a number of states that have put together legislation that could be really harmful to our ability to collect. And so we've had to branch out not just in Washington, D.C., but throughout the country. And that gets a lot more expensive. So that particular fund and the donation to it are extremely critical to the livelihood of our membership, our own ability to do business, so that the regulators or the legislators don't get some of this legislation passed that's going to really impact our ability to be profitable. So I mean, that's kind of a $30,000 foot $30,000. I must be asking for a donation.
Yeah, I was going to say, raising money right now, is that what's happening?
Yeah, 30,000 foot a view of it, but it's critical. It's really, really important, and this year coming up, based on everything that we've seen, we don't have to explain to anybody looking at this what a crazy year 2020 was, and it looks like 2021 is going to be as busy or maybe even busier than 2020 was in regards to legislation regarding our industry and our ability to recover the debt. So making the donation to this particular fund is very important. And I've had the pleasure of being involved in the fund even back when you were running it. So it's a very important part of what our association does for the industry.
I agree. With the current environment, it feels like the industry is under attack on multiple fronts. You have the federal legislation, you have state legislation, you have state AGs that are trying to accomplish their own, kind of internal goals. And so I think it's been a year of great challenge in 2020. in 2021 doesn't look to be any easier. We're going to see not only a change in administration, which is going to bring change to a number of government agencies, the CFPB, the OCC, the FTC, and other organizations that ultimately are responsible for regulating activities within the debt collection space. So I think that the level of importance has never been higher in terms of kind of what we're doing with those dollars. Back when I was actively involved, I remember one of the most important things that we did was to actually put together an infographic and some information on how that money is spent. And so what are we doing with it? For a long time, it felt like it was a black hole, but now I feel like there's clarity to that situation.
Well, there absolutely is, and I think it's like anything else. We're accountable for it, and we have some really good information about where that money goes as far as. The bulk of it used to be spent in Washington, D.C. because it was on the federal level. But now it's all over the country, and you have an alphabet soup of agencies that think they need to take, whether it's the OCC, the FTC, and CFPB. I mean, we can go on through the alphabet, but the money is used to get people that can tell the story, that can put together the information that helps these legislators really understand what their legislation, what their bill is going to do, and how it's going to negatively impact our ability to recover. Because this industry puts a fair amount of money back into the economy of the U.S. And a lot of times, and on the state level, you really can't let a state, Colorado, where I sit right now, has had some real interesting legislation come up over the last 6 months, but you can't let that happen. You can't let a state get started, because then other states will just fall in line, and it'll become the domino effect. So that gets more expensive when you have to take it down to that level. And so it's absolutely essential, and it's critical. But I think our membership recognizes that. We have people that have been very, very generous, and will need to continue to be, so that we can keep the kind of the wolves at bay, if you will. I mean, this industry is not that old. Whatever 25 years or whatever it's been, but we've seen a lot of change, and these regulations that we're seeing now, there's no precedent. And without precedent, it's really tough to figure out how to fight it. And we don't have a history with some of this kind of legislation that we're seeing. So it's very expensive, is what it really boils down to, Adam.
So from a legislative perspective, what I try to always convey to people about the legislative fund is that the fund itself is there to ensure the longevity of our industry. And so one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about while I had you on today was kind of identifying talent. Now, as someone who's been a mentee of yours for many years, and I'll never forget the day that I met Mike Colby, and for no value of his own, took me under his wing and kind of made sure that I met all of the key players that were at that particular conference that day. And so I like to at least consider you to be a pretty solid eye for talent. And so, in terms of the longevity of our industry, what do you see in the next generation of receivables professionals?
Well, Adam, first of all, I thank you for all that compliment, but you've certainly proven out the fact that I'm right, that I was right then and I'm right now, especially since you've been on the executive board and are in line to run our association. So this industry has provided a lot of people a good living, and it's a good industry to work in, and we do need to keep it alive and ensure its longevity. And that really, as you stated, for the Legislative Fund, is a very important aspect of this. And then I think it's people my generation of the membership have a responsibility to look out there and to listen to people and get people involved like yourself. And there's many people your age and younger that are involved in the industry. You and I have talked about this on a number of occasions. A lot of the people that I'm dealing with now that are running collection agencies or law firms or whatever are the kids. I met mom and dad or grandpa even many, many years ago. And so I think we have a responsibility, and that kind of, on the other committee that you and I work on, and the membership committee, as we work together to draw in new membership across the board. I'm always looking for people your age and younger that have really exhibited, an enthusiasm for the business, because it actually is. It's a really fun business to be in. It can be, and so I think we have that responsibility. I feel like I have that responsibility, and the other members that are in my generation should be looking for that. I think we need to do that, and it's a fun part. It's fun to watch you guys, grow into all the positions you've been in, and so it's a good thing. It's a good business.
Well, greatly appreciated, Mike. And I agree. I mean, on the membership committee, identifying new people to kind of step into leadership roles and to get more involved and engaged in the association is really our goal. And I think we've done a great job of that over the past few years, of bringing kind of this next generation of receivables management professional to the table, showing them the ropes, helping them to understand from really the triumphs and mistakes that we've made throughout our careers, and kind of putting the industry in a position to continue forward indefinitely, because it is an essential part of our economic ecosystem.
Well, I think so. And in the 23, 25 years, whatever it's been, we've had to reinvent or reposition the association a number of different times, from back in the good old days, if you will. People wanted to call it the Wild West, but we knew sooner or later there was too much money involved for the regulators to stay out of it. They got involved. We had to adjust to all that, but we've done a good job. We, as a membership and as an association, have done a good job, in my opinion, of pivoting. And now I think we are in a position to, we have the certification program. We've got a number of other things in place that we are well thought of with most of the regulators. I mean, we have a good reputation for doing things the right way, and I think that's important. And I'm really proud of all that we've accomplished, quite frankly.
I agree. It is a fantastic organization, and I'm quite proud to be a part of it. And to have had an opportunity to work with such great people. It's when you think about the debt collection industry, I'm sure the last thing that comes to somebody from outside the industry's mind is like how great the people are. But I definitely consider a lot of the professionals that I've met in this space to be family at this point. And maybe that's just because I'm going to my 15th consecutive Receivables Management Association annual conference in 2021. Which makes me feel a little bit older, but I think it is what it is, and very excited to see everybody out there this year. Mike, I want to thank you for taking the time to participate today and to join me for this discussion. I think it's a really important topic that I wanted to make sure we got out to the industry and make sure people understand where the value is here.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, Adam, and what we do I think is important. We've got the annual conference coming up in April. I hope that everybody that can get down to Las Vegas, get out to Las Vegas and join us. If you can't be there, we can do it virtually. So we're just adapting, just trying to make it work and find the best way to do that. So we've done a good job. You've been a big part of that. I appreciate it. It's a good place to be.
For those of you that are watching, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Mike and I will be responding to those questions and comments. If you are not currently a member of the Receivables Management Association International, you should go and check out rmaintl.org and learn a little bit more about the association and what we do over there. But until next time, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Mike.